By doing this one thing at the start of each quarter, you should be able to 5x your business. Now you're probably wondering what that one thing is. And that one thing is running a quarterly planning meeting session. Why is this important? Because if you're failing to prepare, you're preparing to fail. I believe everyone should be doing this, whether you're a solopreneur running an operation by yourself or you have a team of 10 plus people. Doing this really sets the vision for your company for the quarter and breaks everything out into measurable pieces. So each one of your team members know what they need to do to achieve the overall company goal. Before we get started, if you wouldn't mind hitting the like and subscribe button below, that would really help me out. All right, let's get to it.
All right, let's get into it. So this is going to how to run your quarterly planning meeting. So this is from our Level Up REI coaching program, but this is loosely based off of the book Traction. If you haven't read Traction as a business owner, I highly recommend it. I'll zoom in a little bit here. It's really good as far as structuring your meetings to be able to you're getting the most out of them, you're time efficient, and ultimately you're dialed in. Because this meeting right here, if you have a larger team, this meeting is going to take 3-4 hours. So make sure you properly time block. If you have a smaller team, just a couple of people, you may be able to get this done in 1 to 2 hours. But it goes really in depth to be able to put your vision on paper. And with Traction, they call this a VTO, a Vision Traction Organization. So it'll go through all this stuff to make sure we're putting our mind on paper on where we want our business to go, so everyone on your team knows where we're going. But ultimately, I think it's really good as a reflection tool as well. Looking back and say, hey, what worked last quarter, last 90 days, last year, whatever it is, let's double down on that and figure out what didn't work the last 90 days and fixing those things. So it's both, good reflection tool to say, hey, this is what we've done, but also a good tool to say, hey, this is where we're going. And again, I did this quarterly planning with a couple of my clients this past week, and both of them, their feedback was like, I have not had more clarity in my business ever, since I've done this. And now I feel like I have a plan on what I need to do to get to where I go. And, now it's just tracking. So jumping into this, this is going to be going over kind of your business as a goal right here. Your core values. What is your company's core values? What's important to you as a person? What values you want to portray out to the world, to your customers and clients. So writing them down here, maybe it's like bias for action or growth oriented, gratitude, always giving, whatever it is, whatever's important to you. And why this is important is because you want your team members to have these same values, same mindset, making sure we're all on the same page and producing the same product for our clients. And especially when you go to hire, you want to make sure when you are hiring that person you're interviewing, they hit all your core values. Because if they, for whatever reason, don't hit your core values, they're probably not going to be the best fit for your organization, your culture, and what you're trying to build. And it's going into your mission statement. Tagline, this example, improving lives and communities through the purchase and sale of real estate. Why are we doing what we're doing as a business? Our niche, single family homes in suburban areas. You could be land, you could be multifamily. And again, this isn't real estate specific. Some of the corporate jobs that I've had, they actually use this book Traction. So this is Traction is a huge book. A lot of organizations use it. A lot of multi-million-dollar companies, probably even billion-dollar companies use this. So not specific to just what we're doing here, but just really good if you're a business professional. What are the key 3 things that differentiate you from your competition? So for this example, we'll pay moving costs, we'll pay probate fees, and then we have a retail sales program, our Novation MLS offer, whatever you got. What are the 3 things that set you apart from everybody else? It's important because now your team knows, these are 3 things that are usually important to our customers, and these are 3 things on why we're better than everybody else. Your proven marketing process, what has worked, PPC, direct mail, cold call, SMS, whatever it is. And then your customer guarantee. We're guaranteed to give our customer a cash offer within 30 minutes or less. That's our guarantee to our customers. Once you've done that, we're going to go into the business review. In the past 90 days, what has worked? Thinking of each department, what worked in marketing? Maybe we had a really good conversion rate with our PPC ads this month. Lead management. Maybe one of our lead managers is crushing it. Acquisitions, same thing. Maybe we got some A players on our team that are performing really well. Maybe our onboarding process is good. Dispo TC. So in each department, listing out, what worked the past 90 days. Again, that's that reflection piece. What worked? If it works, let's keep improving that. Let's double down on that. And then you're going into what's not working. The big thing here is don't get stuck on this area, especially if a bigger team. A lot of times people are going to raise their hand. Hey, here's this issue, and then just start complaining and talking about why it's an issue. Right now, we're not working on coming up with solutions for these problems. We're just trying to identify them. So raise your hand, list the issue. All right, next person, what's the issue? We'll get to these issues later down and go deep dive on them. But for now, let's just list off everything that didn't work the past quarter. Maybe we had some turnover. Maybe our continuing education process sucks. Maybe our marketing to lead management handoff is terrible, or something's breaking. Whatever it is, list out everything that's not working. All right, then we'll jump into the last quarter. Did we achieve our goal? If this is your first time, you may not have this goal set, but going forward, you will. So reviewing this, hey, did we achieve our goal? If no, what are some reasons why we missed our goal? Well, we had an acquisition person leave us because our continuing education process wasn't good. He wasn't having enough opportunity here. Maybe our Google Ads account got shut down for a couple of days, so we weren't able to produce enough leads to kind of hit our goal. What were the reasons that we weren't able to achieve our goal from last quarter? And then what did we learn by doing those? Coming up with that, reflecting, what can we do better? All right, that acquisition person left because our onboarding process sucked, our continuing education process sucked. So let's really define our meetings, our weekly meetings, what's going to happen, call reviews. We're going to have somebody come in and present a sales topic. We're going to watch YouTube videos on sales topics. So reflecting, why we miss our goal, and then what do we learn from missing those goals? And then it's going to be jumping into the vision stuff now. All right, 3 years from today, where do we want to go? So in year 3, I want to be producing $1 million revenue. What's it going to take to get there? All right, to get to $1 million, I'm going to have 100 contracts. I'm going to have to give out 800 offers, just throwing some numbers out. And what's that business going to look like? I'm going to have 2 acquisitions people. I'm going to have 2 lead managers. I'm going to have 2 dispo people. I'm going to be in 3 different markets. I'm going to be flipping a couple properties each year. Like whatever your vision is, like what's this going to look like in 3 years when we're producing $1 million profit? And then scaling it back. All right, 1 year, next year, what are the next 365 days? What's the company going to look like? How much revenue are we going to be producing? What's our profit? Again, measurables. How many contracts is that going to take? How many offers, appointments, leads is that going to take us to get there? And then our goals for the year. Maybe we want to do our first flip as a company. We want to look in and start PPC, in the next couple months. And the big thing with your goals here, and even when we get down here, actually, I'll bring it up down here once we get to kind of the rocks and stuff. So just kind of identifying your goals on what you want to accomplish next year as a company. Because again, we want to portray our vision as the leader. We have the vision in our head, and now we have to sell it to our employees and say, hey, this is why we're doing this. And then your 90-day plan. So this is where you're going to spend most of your time for now. What's our revenue? What's our profit? How are we going to do that? So this example, let's say we want to make 100K profit. All right, to get to 100K profit, I know right now, and again, this is the measurables, comes back to KPIs. So if you haven't watched my Knowing Your Numbers, or if you're not tracking your KPIs, go back to my last video and watch that because it breaks down how to track your KPIs. But measurables. All right, if I know it takes 20K, each contract we average 20K revenue or profit in this example. All right, so now we know we're gonna need 5 contracts. So 5 contracts at 20K would equal 100K. Cool. All right, so if I know we have to get 5 contracts, how many offers does it typically take to get a contract? Go look at your KPIs. For this example, all right, it takes 10 offers for us to get a contract. All right, perfect. So now we're gonna have to give out 50 offers, the next 90 days. And then going down further, how many appointments do we have to go on? How many net leads do we have to have? How many leads do we have to have? So just basically backtracking your numbers out off of previously tracked numbers. All right, once you do that, coming up with a quarterly theme. I like to think of this as kind of like a mindset for the team. What's our goal? Some things I've seen is, take control. We're going to control the things that we can control. We can't control sellers all the time. We can't control buyers all the time. So let's just control what we can control. Another one I've seen somebody use is back to the basics. We want to be really good with our fundamentals. So nailing our scripts, making sure they're perfect, making sure our handoff process is perfect. So being really good at the basics. So whatever you want your quarterly theme to be is kind of a mindset to get the team going. After that, this is where we get into the good stuff, getting into the rocks. So rocks aren't necessarily, they're going to be to-dos. These are the goals that we're trying to accomplish, but they're not, weekly to-dos. They're not little things. These are kind of big picture things that is ultimately not just going to get us to this 100K for this 90 days, but get us to 100K, every 90 days from now on, and hopefully higher. So this example of rock would be, all right, I want to increase our revenue 10% from the previous quarter to $10 million, by, just say January. The big thing is with these is we want to have SMART goals. And SMART is an acronym. You can see here, we want them to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So having a time frame on them. Why is this important? Because you don't want one of your goals to say, oh, I want to go look into a different marketing source. You can't really say, did I complete that or not? If I go read a sentence, is that necessarily meaning it's completed? No. So it has to be super specific. I want to start PPC by January. It's specific, it's measurable, it's definitely achievable, it's relevant because I'm trying to get more contracts, which marketing will help, and I have a time frame of January. So when you're setting your goals, making sure that every time they're SMART goals. And I would say this for everything, not just rocks, but even your weekly, daily tasks. Setting things as SMART goals is going to be big. And where I see a lot of people fail is they don't put time on it. They're like, oh yeah, we need to do this. But they don't say when it has to be done. I tell you, if you put a time on it, it's going to get done. So going back down here to the rocks. All right, so like taking this idea, each department is going to have their own rocks. So we want to get to, 10% revenue increase. So how are we going to do that? All right, maybe acquisitions needs to close at a higher clip. So acquisitions, as acquisitions, we want to close at, a 20% clip, by January. So thinking of these big picture quarterly tasks on what you want to accomplish, which is ultimately going to get us to the 90 goal for this 90 days, but also keep us there, over time. So doing this by each department, and then once you have all your rocks listed out on kind of what you want to accomplish as a company, identifying the owner. Who on the team is going to be in charge of this task. And this isn't like a set it and forget it. So it's not set it today and then in 90 days come back and say, hey, did we do this? You should be checking on this weekly. Again, go read Traction if you haven't. Really good book. But having a weekly L10 with your leadership team to not only go over kind of the weekly numbers or weekly issues, but ultimately going through these rocks too, real briefly and say, hey, are you on track or are you off track? If somebody's off track on hitting their goal, let's sit there as a team and figure out how we can help. Is there somebody from a different department that can step in and help you achieve your goal? Is there a system that we have to implement to get you to help to achieve the goal? So not setting and forgetting these, but still reviewing these on a weekly time frame just to say, hey, are we on track or off track? Then we'll go into our issues list, which is when we're going to grab the stuff up here of what didn't work, what's not working, and we'll put this down here and we'll break it down. This is where it's going to take a little bit longer depending on how big your issues list, sitting down and talking about, hey, how can we improve that issue? And this is going to come out with some more kind of weekly and daily to-dos, like an issues list, say, our sales team's underperforming, specifically, X person isn't, getting their conversions right. All right, what's our to-do with that? The acquisition director now has to sit with them for 1 hour a day for the next week to improve that number. So coming up with those minor weekly, daily to-dos to ultimately kind of resolve the issues that we were seeing from last quarter to improve our business. So this is taking your bottlenecks, breaking out into little to-dos to accomplish it over the next day, week, month. After that, it's going to be going into the implementation. I really like going over this with the team because it's transparency, showing the team where we're going. Like, again, you as the leader, the vision's up here, but a lot of people don't know what your vision is. Like, you need to show people what your vision is in big pictures so that they want to stick around and know that there's a lot of opportunity with the company. So taking your numbers, our 90-day number where we want to get, all right, we want to get to 100K, 5 contracts, 50 offers, perfect. So what's that over 3 months? So putting that in your KPI sheet. This is what we have to hit each month. Then break it down to weekly, each month into weeks. All right, this is what we have to do each week, and then daily, and then team. so the team knows what they're supposed to be doing to help contribute to the goal so that we all win together. Especially with our industry, a lot of commission-only people, so these commissions are directly tied to their pay. So them seeing, hey, we're going to go hit this for this quarter, they should be jazzed up and ready to go. So making sure the team knows and everybody knows this is what we're tracking. And again, use the stoplight report. So, when you're filling these out, mark it green, yellow, red if you hit your goal or you didn't. Because if you didn't, you see a couple weeks of not hitting your goal, all right, we have an issue. We're now behind what where we want to be. So what do we have to do from our team to get us to where we want to go? So communicate with the team. Each of your team members should know the goal for the quarter and how they're going to contribute. All daily scorecards should be updated, which I just talked about. All weekly scores should be updated, and all the rocks need a plan on how they're going to be executed. So it's not just saying, hey, I want to increase our revenue by 10%. It's like, all right, how are we going to do that? Do we have to get different marketing? Do we have to, decrease our marketing spend? Do we have to have our acquisitions closed? So just making sure the team knows like who's in charge of it and how we're going to accomplish it. So again, this is really good. If you're not doing this already, I highly suggest it. Again, I had a couple meetings this week going over this with my clients, and the feedback I got from them was tremendous. I have no doubt they're going to be able to 5X their companies by doing this quarter in, quarter out, year in, year out. So if you have any questions on this, or if you need some more detail, please leave a comment below. And again, if you wouldn't mind liking the video and subscribing if you enjoyed it, thanks for watching.